keeping matters digital transformation here Morning at NTV Wednesday's edition. Thank you so much for choosing us as your preferred home of information to kickstart your day. In our Kickstarter, we're looking into political campaigns in the digital era. Now, in an age where humanity stands on the brink of the fifth industrial revolution, technology is not just reshaping economics, but it's also reshaping democracy itself. The shift from the traditional political campaigns to the digital battlegrounds has actually transformed how leaders, how candidates, how aspirants are reaching out to their people, are persuading their followers and mobilizing the vote. So from social media rallies to the data-driven voter mapping, you do see politics now taking on an online shape, cloth, form, eye, ear, nose, mention, but a few, even legs, by the way, because the information that is put out there can work in a split second, and you're finding it going viral, and you're like, how did this happen? But yet the big question still remains, is Uganda keeping a pace with this digital wave that has come in and it's not going anywhere? So we better make room for it on our table here. Now, speaking of my table, allow me to introduce to you my panelists. This morning, to my extreme left, I do have a new panelist with us, Dr. Dennis Daniel Ssemugenyi. He's a political strategist. Doctor, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Tell us more about your work.
Good morning, Uganda, and thank you, NTV, for having me. I am Dr. Dennis Daniel Ssemugenyi. I am a Global Recognition Award winner. I featured in Forbes for civic innovation and sustainability leadership. I am author of Planting a Legacy, the EBTDI Guide, and pioneer of the Every Birthday Tree Day initiative, which unites Ugandans to plant trees equal to their age each birthday. On 20th December, we'll host our national gala, the Simbo Mti Music Festival, celebrating unity, environment, and hope.
Okay, all right. It's a pleasure to have you, Dr. Dennis. Next to you, Dr. Dennis, we do have a candidate, Lord Councilor in Makindye East, and that is Brenda Nema. Good morning to you. It's a pleasure to have you. It's day 3. What's the journey looking like for you so far?
It's taking shape. So far, so good. No violence, peaceful door-to-door mobilization.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. We look forward to adopting the media and digital innovations in our campaigns.
And how have you actually seen the presence of security in your area called Makindye East?
The security is okay. We've not had interactions that require security intervention. Day 3, people are moving peacefully. We've not had people clash because we did a roadmap harmonization. Everyone is moving steadily with their team. So it's going to be a peaceful election, I believe. So far, so good. And we're praying it stays the same until January.
Okay. And then also, why did you choose to participate in this elective race?
Yeah, because it's my time. And also, I come with a vision to develop my community, because this is where I'm born, this is my area, and it's always good to give back to the community because it has been good to me, and I think I come to offer a service and represent my people in this area.
Okay, all right, and we do have Honorable Bernard Odoi, youth leader, and we're excited to see you in Kampala. I know that you've been moving around East African region representing the country by and large. How are you?
I'm good, Priscilla, and allow me to salute everyone listening to us this morning. It's been a busy time, and we are committed to the cause. This is our country, and duty demands that we stand tall.
All right, allow me to start with you. We are entering into the critical element of this electoral roadmap, and this is the phase where now everyone is on board. Everyone is engaging forces on board, the young people primarily being those that are in full gear engagement. Through your lenses as a young person and one who has been part of these cycles in different capacities, how are you measuring the active engagement of young people, especially through digital platforms?
Okay, thank you so much. We are living at a time when politics or democracy generally has gone digital. and we can't run away from that. Our generation, my generation, is a generation that can no longer wait for campaign trucks or rallies to then get the message. Downtown in Owino, a young man busy in the market. If you go to the fishermen community, if you go to Namwongo in the slums where I dwell, you go back home in Mulanda, you'll find that by just a click of a button, the young people can access the message from the different candidates. They can enter town hall conversation. They can also check real time the information and the pledges made by different candidates. But let's be very honest. Uganda as a country, you realize that only about less than a third of our population are online all the time. So whereas we are having conversation about the digital era, to be very honest, as a country, we can't run away from the other options. We can't run away from our old ways of doing things, that we must look for the votes. And that explains why you see candidates, right from the presidential candidates, they're all over the country, moving door to door, space to space. And also the other candidates, the MP candidates, the councillors, the LC5 chairpersons, they have adopted the old format of looking for votes door to door through radio stations. But also allow me point out that the cost of internet is actually not helping us a lot. A young person, wherever they are as a country, the access to internet is not yet everywhere. The digital connect is still lacking. So the issue of connectivity is an issue. The issue of cyber security is also a big issue. We've seen quite often unverified information being circulated on media. And later when it is verified, you realize it's a hoax. It's not complete information. It's not correct information. So the issue between the authenticity of the message that is being relayed, cyber security, cyber bullying, the connectivity plays an integral part in this campaign era.
Okay.
And I believe the young people must embrace both the digital world and also create time to listen maybe on radio to get information or promises or pledges by the different candidates.
And interesting to note that even the radios you're talking about now have to go digital, because otherwise they're going to lose out on listenership if they don't move into the digital space in order to expand their listenership base. Looking to some of the statistics and trends for access of internet in Uganda, according to a recent report by Data Reporto, at the end of 2024, Uganda had around 11.4 million internet users. And this is on the markup of 45.9 million Ugandans. So do the mathematics to verify what Bernard has said here, that a third of the population of our country is using this internet. Then you get to look at the start of last year, there were about 13.3 million users, equivalent to penetration of about 27%. When you look to mobile connection, these are much higher. For example, earlier last year, data shows that 33 million cellular mobile connections, which were really coming down to 67% of the population's access to cellular mobile connections. Then another report also gave us a Q1 of 2025, indicating that Uganda had around 43.2 million active mobile subscriptions, putting the mobile penetration at 88%, and this is of the estimated population of 49 million. Look at infrastructure and speeds now. That is where the issues are. But speaking of that, Nema, you are one that is in the race, and you've definitely had to engage with the digital spaces, come up with something trending, or your team is telling you, Nema, you have to give us something trending. How have you handled that pressure?
Actually, we've all had to adapt to the pressure. You find yourself having to run as many as 20 WhatsApp groups You have to have a media team that's in people's inboxes every day. You need to have regular content, daily content. Where were you today? People following you in the field and updating these pages, updating these spaces. You need to have an audio recording that's moving around on every speaker. You need to have a message out there every single day. So we've adopted, and so far so good, because it keeps the community engaged. We get regular feedback and updates from the field, and also we get to react immediately to people's problems, because these days something happens, someone dies. It's just a matter of putting on a WhatsApp group, and you know there's a vigil here, there's an emergency here, there's a trench here, this happened. So it keeps us going and gives us incoming information on a daily. So it's been amazing, and we're adapting to it. Actually, I'm planning to launch an IT hub in my community with a free data center for youth. I'll be doing that later on this week as part of my campaign program as
What
well.
has motivated you to come up with this hub?
What has motivated me is in my community where I come from, most of this, like you said, the internet has penetrated about 88% of the population, though we still have people who don't know what the internet is.
Yeah.
And also it's to bring access to internet to the people that use it every day, because it is a program that I lobbied from UCC and gives free internet Wi-Fi to people in the community. So youth have access to data and have the chance to use it constructively, or learn even how to use the media other platforms or applications that can actually help them improve their businesses, improve their communities, learn new skills, and also share with other people. So online, there is no limit. There's a lot of resources. There is academic material. There is a lot of resources. There is no limit to the internet. So if you can give that to your community or to the young people, you've actually given them gold. So it's up to them to use it effectively and launch. The sky is the limit.
You have made mention of how now it's easy for you to access information from the voter, and also the voter access your information. What other advantages have come with you adopting digitization?
The other advantages are the reach. For example, previously you had to hold a meeting to be in a community. But today we have live shows, we have trending spaces on Twitter, so you can reach people that are not even physically in the community. The cost of having to sit people, buy refreshments, buy food, has been reduced to just buying data and having a live cam or a camera in front of you, and you can reach your voters who are even not in the country or not even in the physical space. So the advantages are very many, though we also have disadvantages as well, because being that these are live shows or these are recorded shows, they can go as far as, you can't know how far they can go. People use the same things to come back to you. People use the same, any statement that's made wrongly, every mistake you make is on record. So there's a disadvantage, and people manipulate this information to change people's voices, to alter people's messages. But I think the good outweighs the bad, because it has helped us to reach. And with elections or campaigns, it's about reaching out to the people, taking your message to the people and getting their feedback, because at the end of the day, you represent their views or what they...
All right, let me interact with Dr. Dennis on this. In as much as some candidates are heavily investing in digitization of their campaigns, we're not going to be voting on WhatsApp groups. We're not going to be voting on X. We're not going to be voting on TikTok. We actually have to go and do physical voting. This begs the question, and of course, speaking from what Bernard here had said, that we need to draw a balance, because at the end of the day, in as much as campaigns are taking on the wave of the digital era, but at the end of this cycle, we must make decisions. Which decisions must be made in physicality? How do we address that gap?
Well, thank you. The question is, apparently, we have to ask, has Uganda entered the digital era of politics, or has digital entered it? We'll have to look at the evolution of Ugandan elections, and let's remind ourselves how far we've come. In 2011, the presidential race was defined by physical rallies, newspaper adverts, and in 2006, SMS texting became the new frontier. By 2011, Facebook began shaping narratives, and we saw the walk-to-work protests broadcast online live before mainstream media dared to cover them. Now, in 2016 and 2021, this took us into the hashtag era. Campaigns for fought on WhatsApp, Twitter, and Facebook, but also shutdowns of those very platforms at critical moments. So we remember 2021, internet blackouts days before voting. That's not digitization, that's digital suffocation. So the first question is today, have we built a digital democracy or just digital control? Because the true digital era must expand access and not silence it. So what should digital democracy look like? It must mean open data, equal connectivity, freedom of expression, online transparency, where citizens participate and not just watch. If you briefly analyze the digital economy, then also ask yourself, why does it matter? UBOS tells us that Uganda's population is now just about 45.9 million, and 74% of the people are aged between 10 plus are illiterate. When you look at, you spoke of mobile money users, over 52 million registration, and that has moved up to 80 trillion in a single quarter. So is Uganda digitally alive today? But here's the paradox. We are digitally vibrant, yet economically fragile. And poverty in rural areas.
I'm going to ask you to hold your thought there, because I would like you to help me draw the margins there between the vibrancy you're talking about and the digitization. We're being joined by our reporter from Lira, Julius Ochen, who's also going to be speaking into this conversation and how different candidates are actually picking up digitization and introducing it into how they are managing their campaigns, especially in the wake of the fact that financing of campaigns has become a critical issue that the public itself, the voter themselves, are analyzing. Why are you giving me your money? And so they've had to adopt other ways of communicating and reaching out to the masses. Good morning to you, Julius.
Very, very good morning.
The scenes analysis of the digital era and how it's being picked up by different candidates and also different other stakeholders, the voter being inclusive. Earlier, our reporter Stephen Bide has been speaking to the young people on ground and asking them about how exactly they are participating in this electoral cycle, more so the campaigning season, from where they are seated in their beds, in their rooms, in their cliques, in their classrooms. How are they engaging with the cycle with the support of digitization? Now, we were still speaking to Dr. Dennis, who was helping us understand, is it Ugandan democracy that is entering the digital era, or is it the digital era that is entering the Ugandan democracy? Doctor.
Well, thank you. Before we went for a break, I was speaking on the paradox that we digitally alive, yet economically fragile. And we speak on poverty in rural areas remains near 19%, data costs remain high, and only a fraction of rural youth can afford stable internet. So the question is, how inclusive is the digital economy in our politics? Is it amplifying voices or just those who can afford data bundles? Digital inclusion without economic inclusion is illusion. And that's why we need deliberate policy to make data a civic utility, not a luxury. And I am a presidential aspirant. About my policy ideas, exactly my proposal is simple. Classify internet access as a public good. Introduce tax incentives for telecoms that provide zero-rated civic content, and integrate digital literacy in secondary and community education. When citizens understand digital tools, democracy expands. But we all know that we have the double-edged sword of social media. Social media in our modern campaign arena, it can make or break candidates overnight. And we must ask, is it informing or deceiving our voters? Because digital fame is not digital faith. I hope you understand what I mean. Many politicians chase likes instead of livelihoods. And we have viral videos of crowds dancing or slogans dominate the feed, while economic policy, healthcare, education vanish from the discussion. But Uganda deserves better than entertainment politics. The tragedy of our time is that the algorithm decides what the citizens believe. And it's outrageous. You can have an outrageous clip overshadow serious debate on agriculture, taxation, and unemployment. So there must be effort to restore balance, use the virality to highlight substance and not just spectacle.
And the question stands, who is mandated to restore that balance? You'll come back and answer that, but you have talked about the internet or this digital era making or breaking candidates. Let's talk about one of the recent candidates it has made, and that is Lucy, one of the candidates standing within Kampala Central here. The internet broke him and has made him with his Sarah is told. The other day someone in office was asking me, so what is Sarah is told? Because that is how viral the message has cut across. And now he's taking advantage of that earlier viral penetration in the space, in the digital space, to now, be a discussant of either making sense of things or even not making sense of things. Let's analyze, let's use that as a case study. It's a public case study out there, and I know many people are constantly looking out for what is his latest update. How does that influence voting, Nema?
Of course, voters are everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're reaching or speaking to your electorate every day, you're making an impact, positive or negative. Your message is reaching out there. So if your message is packaged or has a way to get to the voter, because even as we do door-to-door mobilization, there are times you go to the community and people are not at home. They've gone to work, they've gone to the hospital, they've gone to school. So if they're not there, that means you've wasted a day in the field and you're not actually interacted with your people. Okay. So if you can still reach your people with your message, anyhow.
Hey, but now, Doctor said the algorithm. This algorithm is going to put Lucy up there, and you will be nowhere to be seen. But
That
you've
is-
made the same equal investment.
That is virtually, because now votes are counted in the box physically. Yes, we do
Auntie,
not.
but you see, the
do not vote
dynamics
online.
here is that these media platforms, and they give a sentiment to the public that it looks like this one person is being liked so much over or preferred so much over the others. And so the followership doubles and triples overnight. The likes are like there's a rapid growth of these, and they should present some sort of a scale for the other candidates.
Yeah, it is a scale, but it's not a mirror of what the results will reflect in the box. You see, Ugandans are people who are determined to have their voices heard through their vote. So it's not a matter of drama, it's not a matter of who talks a lot, it's not a matter of who has done what. It is a matter of who has the capacity to serve or deliver the services that the community needs. So people know social media, although is portrayed as digital transformation, although it's portrayed negatively, has a bigger impact on economic activities. It provides spaces for people to market their businesses. We think people thrive. I have a friend who has never walked out, or who sells things in her bedroom and has sold shoes, perfumes, because of social media and digital outreach. People reach out to her, she does deliveries, and we've seen businesses grow, we've seen innovations, we've seen young people develop their music skills and talents and become famous by using digital platforms. So they're not all negative. They get the message out there, they sell a business, they sell a candidate.
But Nema, you see, political times are funny. Someone will go viral for the wrong thing, the immoral thing. And another person who has a leveled head with sensible information and strategies and things that they can do and bring some sort of development or better Uganda will not be heard. How do we
I don't know
navigate that?
I don't know why we feel that people who are not on digital platforms are not being heard. People down there know what to actually do. People out there actually know what the truth and the reality is. So the fact that that someone has access to a data space or a digital space that they can use to manipulate or to portray what they think is right for people does not mean that the people do not know what the truth is. That is why in this political environment it is necessary that you have a physical contact or interaction with your people, because at the end of the day, when the internet is shut down or when there is no data, people need to relate, need to know there's a human being behind that.
Okay. All right. Of course, we have to be realistic. You are in an urban setting.
Yes.
So this is a very influential factor for you. Have you had any misinformation and disinformation moving around concerning you and your campaigning?
Thank God, hopefully not yet. I haven't seen any. But that's the funny thing about social media. You cannot see it, yet it is happening. Because your opponents are working day and night to ensure that you're depopularized, you're portrayed in a different way. But I'm praying that is a disadvantage of digital platforms, is data is manipulated and used distorted to miscommunicate or to misrepresent you.
Right.
And I'm still glad that it hasn't happened. I'm praying it doesn't happen, because it is not the right thing to do. We are misusing the digital spaces, these that can be used for positive impact in community, for entrepreneurial development, and for other activities that are productive.
Let me rephrase my question. You are a lady. Have you faced any cyber shaming as a lady?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a lady coming in a lady position. I've not had, my opponents are ladies, so I'm not in a war with men. I'm not in a sexual-oriented, yes. I'm not, the space I'm fighting for is mine, so I've not had any such.
Okay. Nema's case is one that is unique, but those are the realities that other candidates have to deal with. Bernard, from what has been submitted so far, one of the things that we'd like to then draw parallel to or comparison to is the realities on ground. So while digital campaigning is picking up, especially in the urban centers and cities, people are engaging in it. But these are specific groups of people that we're looking at. The Mukade, except for TikTok, elsewhere, forget it. You know what I'm saying? So it may not reach those that have limited access to internet, which is where you started from. So how do we create how do we remove the inequality right now, as we also have to face the reality that we have two split demographies right now in this election?
Thank you so much. For me, I think I'll go with hybrid approach. Democracy must be digital, but also must be inclusive. We already agreed that it's only a third of our population with access to network or internet. The other huge percentage are offline. But also, if you're a candidate, it's about a social contract. What is it that you intend to do to these people? Is it true that you will sit on your gadgets and then inform them and get to know the issues affecting them down where they live? I believe the answer is no. So for me, I would still go with hybrid, where you create time for the online conversation. Real-time information will move. But then the focus should be go down to the people whose mandate you're seeking representation. If you can't go down to where the local person dwells, it is likely that you will not appreciate the issues affecting them. How will you have conversation about the bad roads, issues of waste management, welfare of people, hospitals, if you're simply online? We already agreed that most of the information online quite often are not verified. We are looking at politics or democracy or elections beyond free and fair.
Yeah.
We are looking at election that is fast. We are looking at a process that is verifiable. We are looking at a transparent process. You cannot be transparent only when you're online. I've been a leader. I live here in Namongo in the slums. The majority of our people cannot afford the internet. So if you're a leader and you seek their mandate and you're only online, it means your target is online voting. The voting
But we don't have online voting at the end of the day.
Exactly. That is the issue. So if your target is the other local mama selling mukene down there, why not walk there and see the livelihood, see the life they are living every single day, see the issues, speak to them. These are the people you're going to represent. So anybody who's focused solely on the digital media, digital platform, I believe they will be successful to the extent of 20%.
Which ties into what doctors said, that likes and livelihoods are two different things that people must be very much aware of. But the bigger question now that we have to answer as we come to the crown of this conversation, how do we turn these masses online into actual voters when we are not even assured if they are registered in the national voter for 15th January?
Exactly, that is the other big hurdle that we have. Quite often, most of our people, and respectfully so, who are so much engaged online, they might not even create that time to go to their voting place and then cast their vote. But also we are living at a time when we've not embraced digitally entirely the electoral process. The digital embracement of the whole thing would be, I am a voter, say in Namwongo, but my workplace is in Mbale. While I'm in Mbale, am I able to access the voting process digitally and vote? That would be entirely digital. Yeah. So if we cannot do that, then you still have to speak to these people, tell them their points, and ask them that without them casting their vote to you, you will not actually have that mandate.
In closing, Doctor, you are well exposed to global democracies where they have actually adopted digitization. I think the best case example would be the United States during the COVID-19 pandemic. The cycle that brought in Donald Trump as president, in your mail, please cast your vote and it will be received at different centers. So let's conclude with your school of thought on digitization of the electoral process, and this is through primarily the Supervised Electoral Commission.
Well, I think what we need to do is to make trending synonymous with transformative. And there is need for digital accountability and electoral transparency. That's happening outside of Uganda, for example, in the USA. We often hear that elections now in Uganda are computerized. But what does that mean in practice? Does the Electoral Commission have a digital signature verification system? If yes, why can't the public and the media access it? And why did independents like myself wait months without feedback while others were cleared? You never find that in these countries. If the system works, show it. Let transparency be the campaign's backbone. In law, once a body realizes an omission, it has a duty to correct it. It's not a favor. That happens in those countries. Now, when you go to our Constitution, Article 21 of the Constitution guarantees equality, Article 38 guarantees participation, and the Electoral Commission Act calls for transparency. Uganda's democracy cannot be digitized if it's not democratized.
Transparent primarily. Thank you so much, Doctor. Yes, Dr. Dennis Ssemugenyi, political strategist, thank you so much. We also did have Brenda Nema, a candidate Lord Councilor Makindye East, thank you so much. And Honorable Odoi Bernard, Youth MP, thank you so much. That's it. You can make the judgment for yourself, and you can do it in your heart or online. It is okay. At the end of the day, you must cast a vote physically on the 15th of January 2025, period. Bye.